And good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, January 19th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Friday morning. What a week we've had. We've got a good program this morning. I hope you'll stay with us throughout the hour. We start off each Friday talking about Wilson Bank and Trust. This morning, we're going to be talking investments. David Walden is on the phone. David is a certified financial planner, and he's been doing this, the Raymond James thing, investment services at Wilson Bank for quite some time. David, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing?
Oh, doing well. It's good to hear your voice, and we're glad to have you on.
Well, thank you so much for having us on. Sorry I can't be there in person, but I'm still happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to hear you, and tell us what's going on.
Just want to start off by giving kind of a brief market investment update, and then pass along our information for anybody that would, if they're interested in, talking to one of our advisors further about their own situation. But, recapping 2023, it was a way better year in the markets than I think probably anybody really anticipated coming. The S&P is a common market index that people look at, ended up the year up 26%. We saw a very nice rally in the bond markets. International markets were up. And coming off a year in 2022 where we saw stocks and bonds down for the first time really ever in the same calendar year, it was a welcome relief and good to see.
Well, what's this year? It started out okay, and I think you can usually hear this. You hear gloom and doom, and you hear prosperity, and I've heard a little bit of both for 2024.
I love the beginning of the year. It's always fascinating to see all of these really smart people give prognostications of what the stock market's going to do by the end of the year, and all these major firms with, all these top economists, and everybody says this is what they think. And it's funny because nobody knows. It's like predicting the weather, right? I mean, all the weather analogies you want to use, trying to predict it in a couple of weeks from now. And so when you get into the investment world and you're getting into predicting the markets, it is a very uncertain thing. In a year's time frame, really, at the end of the day, it feels long to us in many ways, but we know, especially the longer we go, that it's really short. And right now, a lot of the forecasts are all over the map. And to be honest with you, they've been that way for the last couple of years. I told people for the last couple of years I've been doing this, I've probably seen more negativity. And that's not just coming from the average investor. That's coming from, different firms or economists or whatever it may be on market forecasts. So this year, it's a very mixed bag. It's an election year. Which always brings, which is funny. I get that comment given to me a lot. Well, it's an election year, and when people say that, I need to start pausing and say, well, what do you mean by that? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure I know what they mean when they say that. So I've got a lot of market election year stats that are interesting too. But I think the past 11 presidential election years have been positive by the end of the year. A lot of times markets are somewhat flat for a while, but they end up rallying after the election, historically, regardless of what the outcome is, which is also interesting. I think the interest rates continue to be the dominant conversation piece in the investment world. The fact that safe investors can now make a decent return on their money continues to be a dominant talking point in 2024.
I'll bet that's been something that you and your constituents have talked a lot about, because it is sort of an extra option for somebody to choose, and especially a very conservative investor.
If I had to write down what I'm most thankful for from an investor perspective, it's absolutely the fact that safe investors now have options. I mean, when the Fed had interest rates down to zero, the reality was if you wanted to be safe with your money or you wanted a guaranteed option, there weren't very many choices. And the choices you had, there were choices, but they weren't good choices. Let's say that. I mean, you really weren't making hardly above zero. And so, and I don't know that people really have realized the impact to a portfolio over the last 15 years with the fact that bonds have not made very much. So the fact that we have better options there, and I think it does bring about some very interesting planning opportunities too going forward. If you want to be conservative, I highly recommend you talk to your financial advisor to find out what options do I have, because a lot of the forecasts now are for interest rates to be lower by the end of 2024. Anywhere from 3 to 6 rate cuts is what I've been seeing. Now, who knows? But it's a good time to talk to your financial advisor to find out, with that being the case, how should I position my portfolio?
All right, we're about to run out of time here. David, somebody wants to talk investments with you. What's the best course?
They can give our office a call. We've got a bunch of really good financial advisors, good-hearted, knowledgeable people that we can set you up with the right person. We serve all of our communities that we operate in. Let me mention today, too, that with the weather, Wilson Bank is scheduled to be open at 9 a.m. Is the last I heard. We're planning on closing at our normal time. That could obviously change with the weather, but I do want to mention that as well. And they can give our office a call at 615-443-6509, and we can get them connected to a person that can help them.
We better do a quick disclaimer here.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, an independent broker-dealer, are not insured by bank insurance, the FDIC, or any other government agency, are not deposits or obligations of the bank, are not guaranteed by the bank, and are subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal.
David Walden, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right, that's it for Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, excellence in banking since 1987. We're almost 11 minutes after the hour, and here he is, live in studio, Senator Mark Pody.
Good morning, Coleman. What a great day to be alive.
You were here getting out of your vehicle as I drove up this morning. We were both early.
Yes, we were, Coleman. And I know you are always an on-time person. It always amazes me. So I knew the weather had to be a little bit bad for the roads for you to be saying, hey, I'm just going to make sure that I get here on time.
Yeah, you're right. And that's kind of the way it's been all week. But
Coleman, this week is exactly why I love Tennessee.
Really?
I'm going to tell you. So I've lived in Wisconsin. I've lived in Florida. And Wisconsin, when the winter sets in, you're in for months and months, and you hardly get to do anything but just have, watch the snow and such. And in Florida, we didn't have any snow at all. So Tennessee, we're going to have winter for about 10 days, and it's going to be this blast that comes in here. We got this sled. We got to play snowman with the grandkids, throw snowball fights and such. And you know what? Next week, it's going to be gone. It's almost like going on vacation to the Rockies or whatever. This is just perfect in Tennessee.
Well, some of us here like it one day and go away rather than a week, but I understand your drift.
Well, next week's going to be nice again. It's going to be back up in the 60s, and we have a week of bad weather here in Tennessee, and it is kind of normal. So it's enough for my wife to say, "All right, I'm done with winter now, and we can go back to warming up some." So I love Tennessee. Just love Tennessee.
Well, it has been bad enough weather-wise that the General Assembly pretty much shut down this week, right?
Yes, and very unusual. We've shut down for a day or two in the past, but to be gone for a whole week is quite unusual. The biggest thing at this point is we have a bill filing deadline of the end of the month. So if we don't have our bills on notice and filed with a bill number, we won't hear them this year. And so this is the second half of the General Assembly, so they wouldn't be heard at all during this session. However, in my case, and most of the senators, they've already got their bills done, filed, and ready to go. So it won't affect us too much. I've heard that they might extend it a day or two, but I don't really think they need to. We can just keep going, and business is normal.
Well, I understand you did make it to Capitol Hill at least one day this week, even though you weren't in session.
Yes, yep. So I went down there, and I was hoping to meet with some attorneys or whatever and get some things done that way. But everybody else was gone, so there really wasn't much for me to do. So I turned around and came on back. I've got somebody who's incredible, and that's Debbie, and she's been working from home. So she's actually been still answering phones, doing emails, and keeping people informed of what's going on, and people need help, so she's got them hooked up, whether it be TennCare or TDOT or whatever. People say, hey, my road's not been plowed, and she'll let the people know, and TDOT to see if we can't get it out there. But now TDOT's done a really good job because they're tasked to do this. They have to keep the biggest and major interstates going first, like, Interstate 40 and so forth. So some of our side roads, they are definitely put off. The interstates might be done 2 or 3 times before they'll even touch some of our side roads. And I live on a side road, so, I think, oh, my goodness, I wish they'd get out here. But they keep the main arteries going.
Well, I think you have to establish priorities in this case, and they do, and basically it works. Some may not like it because they don't get to them, but that's where they live.
Yes, and we could invest a lot more money in plows and equipment that way, but for just the short time that we have it, it's not a good resource allocation of the resources we have. Sure, we're going to be shut down a day or two, and it does make a difference, but it saves us so much that we don't buy more plows, more trucks, hire more people to do it, and it's easier just to work a day or two around this and go from there.
Okay, we need to take a break, and we'll remind everybody this is our Friday Senate Report with Senator Mark Fody, and we'll continue in a moment here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still looks pretty good right now with that traffic flow on 24 westbound. Normally it'd be heavy right now coming up out of Rutherford County, Murfreesboro towards Nashville. We are still concerned with a lot of back roads here in Middle Tennessee this morning that haven't been traveled on that much, or if there's still snow covered, it could still be very dangerous with some ice underneath as traffic picks up just a bit through Kingston Springs on 40 East coming in from Dixon County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Middle Tennessee. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at mylebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Look out the window and see the snow falling. I just hope we don't have much accumulation, Senator.
Nope, I think it's going to move pretty quick, but the temperature is going to go down, and of course, for the next night or two, it's going to be really, really cold. But I will tell you now, Coleman, my Packers won. Yeah. Okay, so they played Dallas, of course, last week. They're in the playoffs. They're playing tomorrow. They'll be playing the 49ers, and I think they're playing a little bit over their head right now, but it was a good game last week.
Will they be in San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. It won't be as cold as Green Bay.
That's exactly right. And they do have a very, very, very young team. So I think that it's going to be a good team coming in next year. I think that there'll be divisional playoffs and so forth. But it was good to watch them anyway.
How far back do you go with the Packers? Do you remember Paul Hornung?
I do, and Bart Starr, and Ray Nitschke. And it's... Yes, it was really, really good. And up there, because I was from Wisconsin growing up, they were like the big heroes, I mean, when they come visit a school, they were really, really, that was the big news for the week.
Coach Vince Lombardi.
I do. And it's ironic because we got to actually see some of the players and talk to them. And Lombardi, they'd say Lombardi time. That means you got to be there 15 minutes early or you're late.
Well, you explained your trip to Nashville, but you didn't get much accomplished, so you just kind of had a more relaxing week, I take it.
I did.
But you're going to get busy this, no doubt, unless we have something unforeseen. The weather warms up. The legislature's going to meet back probably Monday.
Yes.
Monday afternoon, and hopefully people can get in from the distant points of Tennessee. What's going to happen?
All right, so we will be there. We're going to be starting Monday afternoon. Debbie's rearranged all my appointments, so next week I am like double booked on everything. But I want to give a shout out to Jackie Murphy because I'm actually working on a bill that has to affect her offices and that office across the state of Tennessee, the registrar's office. And what it is we had a constituent where their house was stolen. And you turn around and say, well, how can somebody steal a house? And well, if you have your house paid off, you can come in, and they did a fraudulent quitclaim deed. It wasn't here in Wilson County. It was in Davidson County. And they filed a quitclaim deed, and they went ahead and recorded it, and then the new supposed owner took a loan on that property and walked away with the money. And left the property, left everything. The people didn't know that there was even a quitclaim deed on the property until they started getting notices that there was a mortgage. And of course, it was totally illegal. It was a bogus quitclaim deed. But they were out. It took them thousands of dollars to get their house back in months and months where they couldn't do anything. It was just an incredible, horrible situation. So I'm trying to work with everybody to see what can happen. Now, no matter what, it would be harder for each of the offices. And Jackie said, Mark, I don't know what we should do, but I'm willing to help any way we can to help protect the citizens. And I thought she's been working really, really great.
Well, do you think something will be done?
Well, what I'm proposing is this, that if there's a quitclaim deed filed on a piece of property here, not a regular one, just a quitclaim deed, that there'd be a postcard sent to wherever the tax bill goes and saying, hey, there was a quitclaim deed filed on your property. But there's a cost because here in Wilson County, there's hundreds a week. So, I think when I talked to Jackie, it could be like $600 a month that they have to file. That'd be 600 postcards that they have to do. They got to track down who is the recorded taxpayer at that point and send that to them. And that's going to be a cost. Even if you turn around and say that's $600 a month, who's going to pay for this and how is it going to go and is it worth it? Something else we're thinking about doing is maybe we just make it tougher on the criminal that did it. But in this case, it's hard to track them down as well. Sometimes they can do it from out of state. They just got to have a fraudulent notary republic to do this and get it done. In fact, you see commercials on TV now saying, hey, protect your house, sign up for this, LifeLock or whatever. So we're trying to look at different options. But I did want to give a shout out to Jackie. She's helped me work through this. I don't know what we can do yet, but we're working on it.
How long are you going to be there? I shouldn't ask it like that, but do you expect a long session? Do you?
No. Okay. I'm going to be thinking mid-April, would be a good target date. Nobody said that, but the way that I see us going and the speed that we're already working on, the budget things are already starting to go through. With the governor's not even proposed his yet, but there's a tick down there saying we want to get things up and going. And part of it is every other year, like this year, all the state representatives are up for re-election, and they want to get out so they can make sure that they can go back to their constituents and campaign, make sure that they're doing what they need to have done and so forth. So it's a shorter year.
What's going to be the most controversial thing that
school vouchers?
All right,
it's school vouchers, and there's a couple things on this voucher. I'm typically been in favor of working some of these vouchers, but there's this one that we're looking at. There could be a clause that we could possibly have some of these vouchers go to people that are here illegally. And I am not in favor of that whatsoever, Coleman. So if I have a family of four and they bring, if they bring 4 kids and they say, we want to do this on our own and go to our own private school, whatever, or set something up, that's $28,000 to a family. We can't track who's here. We don't know where they are. Even when they're working, we don't have the right social security numbers. There's so many people working underneath the system. And I am not in favor of giving vouchers to people here that are not here illegally. And I'm going to be voting that way. And I've told the governor's office this, that I would really be watching if we're going to be doing this.
Well, you think the other senators, the other 32, most of them feel the way you do? Or
well, they do. However, some of them are going to say this. There is a Supreme Court case that says that even if they're here legally or not, we've got the obligation to educate them. And that came out in a Supreme Court case. And we can't pick and choose saying, well, you're not here legally, so we're not going to educate you. But I do believe there is an argument saying that if you're here, there will be a public education path for you, but you're not going to just take our money. That would make Tennessee a magnet state for more people coming in here illegally, and I am not in favor of that at all. We got to stop this from the border, but we can't do anything about the southern border, but we can sure do something about the Tennessee border.
Okay. But a lot of the budget goes for education.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So this is a controversial thing.
It's a very controversial, and right now it's a very close vote. I am surprised at some of the I've gotten a lot of resolutions from school boards across the state. And I've called some of them. I said, now, what part of the bill are you uncomfortable with? Because they're saying, we're against the voucher. And I said, what part? And they said, well, we haven't seen the bill, and they don't know. And I said, no, wait a minute, you're telling me that you're just going to be against something you haven't even gotten to read the language on yet? And they say, well, yeah, but we just don't like the idea. And I said, it doesn't work that way. We got to read the whole bill. You got to tell me what part you're in favor of, what part you don't like, and let's see if we can address that. And I thought that was very... that was not prudent on their part to be sending me these resolutions on a bill that I've not even seen. I haven't even gotten to read. So I can't support when they're sending me resolutions that haven't been thought out. So, and if they tell me that, well, we just don't want any of it for anywhere, I'm going to tell you that, and they're saying we don't want to go into private schools. Well, we already send taxpayer money there. They already get like Pell Grants and things like that. So we already do some of these things. So we got to be careful about some of the things that they're saying in these resolutions. They were not thought out. They weren't written well. And it was just more of a statement they were making, I guess, than against a bill.
I think we talked maybe even last week some about roads and transportation issues.
Coleman. So they've even taken the bill that I filed and they've taken it out of transportation and put it in finance already. I met with the finance director and I think we're finding a way to help do this. And if we can make this happen, it's going to certainly help our infrastructure and our roads. I'm working hard, and I told them if I don't have the votes, I'm not going to put them all on the spot to vote against our roads. But I think we're finding a way that we can get an extra $1 billion to our roads. That's going to help us in Wilson County. That's going to help us in the surrounding counties and help us with this traffic issue. Right now, we pay $2 billion as a total budget to transportation, $1 billion from the feds and $1 billion from the state. If I can get another $1 billion from the state, that's $3 billion going in without raising anybody's taxes. So I've got, I think, a really solid plan to look at this.
Well, for those who might not have heard this, I think last week, explain that real briefly.
All right, so what we would be doing is if you buy a car, a new or used car, you're already paying sales tax on it. You're already paying the sales tax. But the part that goes to the general fund at the state, I want to say take that part and dedicate that to the roads. And listen, if you're buying a car, whether it be electric or a gas car or whatever, you're going to use that car on the road. And that way it's a user fee. The people using the roads are going to pay for it. And I'm trying to structure it in a way that it doesn't take away from anything that is currently being used out of the general funds unless we have surplus to replace it. So it's not going to cut any services. It's just a way we can go forward to get more money to TDOT.
Well, you say this is well on its way?
Yes, I think that it's moving faster. This is one of the first bills I'm trying to push through to work on it. I wanted to get it in the budget, how we can do this. And I'm a fiscally conservative guy. I don't want to this is not the year for us to have new projects, to have new things, even if it's a great idea. I don't want to be in favor of spending more money until we can make sure we have completed all the needs we have first.
Okay, you hopefully will meet Monday afternoon. What going to be a busy week? You already said that maybe your appointments are about double, but
yes. So,
what will happen as far as anything that's either that comes before the 33 senators?
All right, well, there's going to be one unique thing that's going to happen in Coleman. We hear about the Republicans and Democrats fighting all the time. I've got a bill. It's going to be the first bill heard this year. It'll be heard Monday on the Senate floor. And I've got a Democratic sponsor in the House, and I'm a Republican in the Senate. And we're working together to get things done. And it's going to go through, and we're going to have 33 to nothing vote. It's going to vote 100%. Everybody's going to be in favor of it. And there's so many times that the press won't worry about so much, hey, they're fighting, or when we're doing good. They only want to hear when we're fighting and put that out. But most of the part in the Senate, we all work together. We're all trying to say, hey, how can we make Tennessee a better place? There's going to be about 15%, 20% that we're just going to absolutely be diametrically opposed. We're not going to agree. But 80% we can agree on, and we can work together just to make this a better place for everybody to live.
All right. We appreciate you making yourself available to come here each Friday. Time does pass by in a hurry, as it seems to have this morning, but I still see the snow falling slowly out there this morning. I just hope we don't have a whole lot of accumulation here. I'm ready for it to warm up.
Yes. All right. I'm as well. Winter's over. Let's go back to spring now.
Well, we got 1 minute left here. Anything you want to tell us before you go?
Absolutely. If you have issues with the state, please call my office. We are here to help. We're going to be working. And even if you're from a county that we don't represent anymore and you don't have anybody else's number, call us. We're here to help. That's 615-741-2421. We want to make sure that we're giving you the service that you need with the state of Tennessee.
Well, I know Debbie, and I know she does a great job. She's a hard worker and almost does not leave any stone unturned.
Employee of the Year at the State Senate.
All right. Well, that's it for this Friday, our Friday Senate report to Senator Mark Pody. We've got more, so we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at two separate accidents on Ellington Parkway. They're both southbound, right there in the area of Trinity Lane. Again, coming down from the top of Ellington Parkway, trying to get down to the bottom. Just a lot of flashing lights. There's some dangerous driving conditions out here on some of these roads that haven't been traveled on that much, so be careful. One car wreck, it looks like you're on 40 eastbound at White Bridge. That's going to be out on the west side as traffic picks up just in the last few minutes through Wilson County, headed towards Nashville on 40 going westbound. Princess Hot Chicken is hiring at all 4 locations. Order online this weekend, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Join us at the 2024 Southern Home and Garden Expo, presented by Wilson Bank and Trust. Take your home to the next level by connecting with local vendors, exploring new products, and meeting our experienced lenders who can help bring your vision to life. Visit the Southern Home and Garden Expo at the Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon on Friday and Saturday, February 9th and 10th. There will be exclusive prizes and giveaways, so don't miss out. Remember FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win! It's gone! He did it! College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
We're on the tail end of a winter weather advisory this morning. Otherwise, eventually seeing mostly cloudy skies that high of about 29. Northwest winds kicking up to about 25 miles per hour at times. Overnight, partly cloudy, low down to 4, wind chills as low as -10. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
We continue here. Welcome to part 2 on a snowy Friday morning. Hey, we're now going to feature the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, and believe it or not, Miss Medina is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Judy
Coleman.
Is here. Judy Cox, good morning.
Why do you say believe it or not? Do you not think we would be here?
I guess that's the words that came out of my mouth. I don't know.
Well, Mr. Mike got up and brought me.
Really? All right. Well, of course, they're with Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main in Lebanon. They're great people offering great service, people you can trust, and even on a cold winter day like this, right?
That's right.
Excuse me, what do you got for it?
Well, I was going to say a few words about a walkthrough. A lot of people go, well, did you do your walkthrough? And then people go, well, what's a walkthrough? Well, when you purchase a house, then you have your closing date. And just say your date was going to be Monday. Well, then usually what we like to do is sometime over that weekend, we like to try to go check on that house and see how they're coming along. You know, are they getting moved out? Or does it look like they've even started packing? So you kind of want to check on that. And then the day of closing, just say if we're going to close at 10 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing a walkthrough. We like to walk through right before we go to closing because you never know what's going to happen. People sometimes go do the walkthrough on Friday and go and close on Monday. Well, what if something happened over the weekend and you don't know it and you haven't been to your new home yet? So, and we had that happen. Doris did once. They had already done their walkthrough, and on the way to closing, she thought she would go by that house to check the key or get the lockbox. And a pipe had broken the night before, and the ceiling of that bathroom had fell in to the first floor. Wow. She walked in, and there's the ceiling tiles all on the floor. So, and they were on their way to closing. So that closing got delayed for about 60 days until everything got fixed again. So you
have the greatest story.
Well, you never know. I mean, in real estate, you just never know what's going to happen. And she walked in the office. She said, "You won't believe the water pipe broke during the night." So, and they'd already done their walkthrough, and the house was vacant, and so everybody was gone. Yeah. Nobody knew. But a lot of times too, people will be they're getting moved out, and we like to go before the closing and see that everything's done, because a lot of times especially on hardwood floors, the movers will pull a couch out or scrape the hardwood floor, and there'll be a big line down the hardwood where you can see they took something out the door. A lot of times that happens, and not necessarily just the movers. It can be the owners. When they move something out, they scratch the floor. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, they're probably going to put down a new floor anyway, so nobody says anything. And then we've had it where when they move the refrigerator out, a lot of times they'll tear the vinyl up. Yeah. And then two people, if they're supposed to leave their refrigerator for the new owner, they'll go off and leave the refrigerator full of food. Yeah. People do it all the time. Mm-hmm. Or they go, I didn't go up in the attic. I forgot to go in the attic and get all my stuff out, and the movers are gone. So there's all kinds of things that people do that you want to go check. And one of the worst things is they come to the sellers come to closing going, hey, it's okay. We've got everything out of the house, but we got a few things out in the shed, and we're going to come back and get those after closing. And they never come back. Oh. So you want to, as an agent, you want to plan for that. If they're not finished moving and ready to hand you the keys when the closing happens, you need to put something in the writing at closing that we're holding out X amount of dollars of the seller's money until they come and get their stuff or until they finish moving out. You want to have a protection there, because people all are excited. Oh, we'll come back and get that later. And we've had some people that you go back, oh, we got everything's cleaned up. And you go out there and the mattress and everything's at the road that nobody's going to pick up. They think the trash people's going to pick it up. They're not going to pick all this stuff up. Oh. And the new buyers are going, what are we going to do with this stuff at the driveway? Well, you got to find somebody to go pick it up and get rid of it for them.
And the sellers are already out of state.
And the sellers are already gone. And you got a mattress, a couple refrigerators, a washing machine, all sitting at the road. And
just
what are you supposed to do with
there?
It? So you never know what people are going to do, because it's like, we're gone, we got our money, we're out of here.
When are you going to write your book?
So
it would be a good one.
But we remember the day that we saw all that sitting at the road. So it's happened to us, is the reason why we say some of these things. Because every time you think you've learned every lesson, something else happens. So anyway, just make sure you do your walkthrough right before closing. And if everything's not right, fix it in writing to make it right and hold the money until it's right.
All right. Great advice.
All right. I'll let Medina talk.
And up on that advice, we will let you know that we're talking to potential sellers that are wanting us to come out to look at their house to see what they need to do to get it ready for the market, because the market is making a little shift to the good side, to where the interest rates are starting to drop a little bit. And so the buyers are actually starting to move again a little bit faster. There's always somebody moving. There's always buyers moving and looking for one reason or another. But now they're starting to look at it again, because the interest rates are dropping a little bit, and they can afford a little bit more because the interest rate's dropping. So those people are starting to look again, and the sellers are saying, okay, I've been home here all week. I'm ready to clean this out. I'm ready to get this thing on the market, so come out and show me what I need to do. So yesterday was one of those days for us. We went out and talked to a seller, and so they're getting their house ready to put on the market here in a couple, 3-4 weeks. And so this is a great time to be doing that while you're home. Be cleaning out your closets, getting stuff. Just look around, what you need to get rid of, what you want to do to it, to get it ready for the market. And so give us a call for those. We'll be glad to come out and tell you what your house is worth, what we think you need to do to get it ready for the market, and then we'll get it on the market and get it sold for you.
All right.
So, we've got homes listed right now. We have land that's for sale. One of the listings we have is 609 Windmere, and it's ready for a new buyer. It's a great home. It has the HVAC is 9 years. The roof is 9 years old. The HVAC is 5 years old. Wonderful house, 4-bedroom, 2 full bath. It's a great backyard, screened-in porch on a 1-acre lot on a corner lot in Westview Acres, which is right off Leeville Pike and right across from Winfrey Bryant School. So give us a call for that. It's listed at $499,400, and be glad to talk to you about that. And also, they also have preferred lender incentives. So give us a call on that. We can talk to you about that. So, like I said, if our sign's not in the yard, give us a call, and we'll still help you find whatever you want to. And if our sign is in the yard, give us a call, and we'll get you in.
Just give us a call.
Just give us a call.
Just give us a call.
And
you know why? Because you don't want to make a move without us.
y'all have a great weekend. Great week. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next Friday.
Thank you.
Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoler, part of the CMD team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main Street in Lebanon. We're now 20 minutes before the hour, and today Ed Benzinger is going to join us here, along with a guest that he has brought. We'll meet in a moment. Ed, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It is good to see you again.
Yeah, life is good.
You called me, yes, a couple of weeks ago, and we set this up, and we're going to be talking about the polar plunge. What a day to talk about the polar plunge.
That's right. I noticed earlier this week you were talking hydraulics with my buddy Lee Clark with the city. We're talking a different kind of hydraulics today.
Yeah.
But it involves water, and it's at Jimmy Floyd Family Center again. February 3.
All right. What is that?
That's a Saturday.
2 weeks from tomorrow?
Correct. Yeah.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been doing this for quite some time. In fact, I was looking back on my calendars. This is at least 3 or 4 years, and maybe longer than that you've come to talk about that.
Correct.
It's nice to have you here and to let people know what's going on. And this is a fundraiser, right?
It is our biggest fundraiser. Even though we are branching out and doing a few other things during the year, primarily we are here to promote Area 27 Special Olympics, which takes in Wilson and Trousdale County. We come under the auspices of Special Olympics Tennessee, but they're different areas of the 95 counties,
Yep.
but
Well,
we're Area 27.
This gentleman you brought with you this morning.
Jake Hood is a Cumberland graduate and a member of our management team for Area 27 Special Olympics.
Well, Jake Hood, welcome to the program.
We appreciate you. Ed got a little quick there on the graduate part. I've still got 4 classes to finish before I graduate.
Okay.
A little bit about me. I'm a senior at Cumberland in my final semester. The way that I kind of got into the whole Special Olympics thing is when I transferred in, originally at MTSU, transferred into Cumberland, Dr. George Walker, who couldn't be with us today, just lives too far away to make it here safely. But started taking classes with him. We kind of hit it off, and he actually invited me to a couple of the meetings, and I was like, okay. Because for me, I didn't know what Special Olympics was outside of the high school context. At Wilson Central, I was big into like the Best Buddies, helping the special education classes, stuff like that. And I had heard of Special Olympics, but at that point in time, the only thing that I thought it was, oh, hey, the other schools, high schools, middle schools in the county are going to come to Wilson Central's track. We're going to have a big day for them, let them run some races, stuff like that. And I thought it stopped there. So when I got to Cumberland and got on the board with Ed and George and several other people, it kind of opened my eyes to realize there's a lot more beyond that.
And of course, it does take money to do what you do. And this is a fundraiser which has been going for quite some time. I can remember years ago when Don Fox was mayor, and he would participate in the plunge, but he did tell me, maybe more than once, that every year when he does that, that's all he can think about for the next 364 days, dreading to have to do it again.
By all means, yeah.
But
there are 12 different plunges across the state now that Special Olympics Tennessee oversees or promotes or whatever. But we've been doing it, I don't know how many years, but again, Jimmy Floyd Family Center, we couldn't, Alex and Aaron, we can't do it without them. They're just super. You guys are super for letting us promote it here.
Well, we're that's, I guess you could say that's part of our job.
That's correct.
We appreciate y'all's dedication as well. We need to go to a break here in about a minute, but people who want to participate, and again, it is a fundraiser. Even if they don't want to plunge, they can participate.
They can plunge. They can plunge they can plunge individually. They can plunge as a team. Everything has gone electronic now. You go to polarplungetn.com, and if you can't follow it from there, shame on you. But we will accept walk-in registration too, day of, but we promote the other. It is a $10 deposit to register to plunge, and then the total entry fee to plunge is $75. But again, the idea is you do the deposit and then you try and get your friends, neighbors, anybody to help you offset the rest of the registration.
Jake, anything you want to add to that?
I think Ed really hit it on the head. It's a really, really good just fundraiser. It's a really good way just for outreach, just to get people kind of in the know about Special Olympics. I've seen a bunch of different people come out. Obviously, Mayor of Wilson County's been out. Mayor of Lebanon's been out. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Houston Stafford. He brought out his entire baseball team from Charlesdale County last year. So it's a really good way just to get people in the know. And then I think every year, Ed, you can probably vouch for me on this, I think we wound up finding a couple of volunteers through this.
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's take our break right here. We'll continue with Ed and Jake in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, located at 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to wrap up these accidents up here on Ellington Parkway. They're both southbound, right in the area of Trinity Lane. A couple of right-hand lanes are blocked down through there, but you're able to get down through there. Just be careful. Very dangerous on some of these back roadside streets. Traffic still looks pretty good right now, and normally would be heavy on 24 coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through Antioch. That's smooth sailing up through there right now. And also on I-40 looks pretty good in from Wilson County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Middle Tennessee. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging online, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Do you really want to know how much your house is worth, but you don't really know who to call?
We make it easy. Just give us your address and give us a few minutes to walk through your home, and we can give you a market value price.
There's no cost to you to find out. Call us today and just see if you really want to sell.
And like we say, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmenthaler at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team, 443-3130.
Continue here on a Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. Ed Benziger is with us along with Jake Hood, and they're with the Polar Plunge and the Special Olympics. And of course, anything you do, it takes some money. You just have to have resources to get things done. Special Olympics has been with us for a long time. So has the Polar Plunge. And again, for those of you who joined us late, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
February 3, Saturday, 10 a.m. registration, 11 a.m. plunge.
And this will be at the Jimmy Floyd Center.
Jimmy Floyd, yes.
And they have, that's been the site for this, I guess, as long as you've been doing it.
Correct, that's right, yeah.
And of course,
we will encourage plungers to wear costumes. There'll be a costume prize.
Well, you have a goal that you're hoping to reach monetarily. You might talk about that.
Each year we try to set a goal, obviously. We have come under the state in the last few years, so our goal has increased. This year it is $20,000, and we're at $8,000 now, or just shy of that. But
you're well on your way then.
Oh, yes,
I'd
sir.
say that's encouraging.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, but that's 8 down and 12 to go.
Well, like I say, the walk-ins will fool us, and it's the last minute.
How ask this, how much does the weather affect those that will be plunging? If it's in the 50s, maybe, I got an idea you're going to have a few more than if it's like it is today.
Oh, by all means. And I think Cheatham County has held their event this year, but they had to postpone it like a day or two because of frigid weather. And we're going to use some common sense there too.
Sure.
So,
well, have you done the plunge, Jake?
I have not. Typically, I'm taking a backseat to it, just photography, videography, just getting some stuff that we can use on, the social media pages and stuff like that. I've thought about it. I may end up doing it this year and then going and snapping some photos afterward. But I think you were really correct on the fact that I think we do have a couple more people come out if it's warmer. I mean, obviously, we're not going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That high of 19 would scare me off.
Well, two weeks from now, you were telling me you had looked at the extended forecast, and the Friday before looks pretty good.
It's saying about 50, 51 on Friday. Hopefully we get the same thing on Saturday. It really just depends. I mean, it's Tennessee weather, as we all know. It's snowing outside right now, and it wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. But again, you don't have to do the plunge. The plunge is part of it. Obviously, there's a lot of other that goes with this. But if somebody just wants to make a donation for Special Olympics, I'm sure you'll take that.
They can go to that website, polarplungetn.com, and there's a donate button too. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that particular day. You said it started at 10 o'clock, I believe.
10 a.m. registration.
Okay.
11 o'clock plunge.
Okay. What all takes place during that period of time?
Well, my buddies from the Knights of Columbus will be there emceeing it, since I can't get you anywhere near the place that day. I think it has something to do with the weather, Coleman, but anyway. We'll be emceeing it. We do some music and try to get everybody pumped up, but you can imagine that everybody's pumped up anyway because what they're fixing to do.
And as far as the money, and go over that again if you will.
Okay. By the way, we will have some food trucks there this year that'll have coffee and some snacks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the money, Special Olympics Tennessee or USA Special Olympics is all about inclusion. We do not turn anyone away. Anyone with special needs is encouraged and invited to participate in athletic events. Mm-hmm. By the way, we're adding cornhole to our list of games. I'm still trying to get you over to the bocce courts, too. That's one of our popular sports. But it's all about inclusion, and there is no cost to an athlete to participate, and so that's what we're promoting.
Okay, but as far as this event and the fundraising part of this, let's talk about what you're expecting from people. You mentioned $25, I believe, earlier.
No, the deposit to register is $10.
$10, okay.
And then the actual entry fee is $75 per individual.
All right.
And then you can do it as a team too, which we have a lot of teams that gather up and do it as a group. But again, the fundraising is to cover the cost for conducting athletic events.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's been a successful thing for a number of years, as we've talked about.
Yes.
And I guess you have some people who've been doing this over and over. But then
kudos to Mayor Hutto. He's a trooper. He's been city mayors. I can't just quite get him.
Maybe he'll open up his pocketbook a little bit.
There you go. Yeah. Well, again, the city, thank Jimmy Floyd Family Center.
Right.
We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We could do it without them, but it's a great venue to do it at.
That place in itself is something to really
Correct.
be proud of.
Well, they allow us to use their indoor pool for training for swimming. So, again, they're invaluable and appreciated.
As you look forward, the Special Olympics and all of this has changed and adapted with the times to some extent over the years. You've seen changes, no doubt. What's the future look like? And is it, people you feel still going to support you and support this effort?
Very much so. I think nationwide Special Olympics, let's face it, life is fragile. I'm always humbled by the competitiveness of these athletes, and a lot of them are Down syndrome kids, and again, their desire to compete, and if they win, which is their slogan, they're there to compete. If they win, they win. If they don't, I was valiant in the effort. So.
How did you get into this? Because you've been doing this for quite some time, Ed.
I got involved through the Knights of Columbus, and I go back to probably the early 80s when I started volunteering, and of course that led into being on the management group, but it's humbling.
And is it George Walker?
George Walker and Mary Lee Burkett. Oh. We now have co-directors of our Area 27 team. And so they're in charge, but we have a team that also, helps them out.
Well, Jake, how did you, what was your first, when you first got into this, what attracted you, or what brought you?
I think what really attracted me is just Dr. Walker basically invited me to a meeting. He pulled me aside after class one day and was like, hey, I'm on the board of directors for Area 27 Special Olympics. I think you would be a great fit with us to work with students on volunteers. So I started in that role as like a volunteer liaison. And then slowly I'll let people know that I have a rich media background, and that led into videography, photography, social media, stuff like that. But I think really the first time that I walked into a meeting, I didn't know. I came in kind of with open hands, open heart, because I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, what this got into. I didn't know how deep this dove. And I've been really impressed just by, I think, Ed, again, you can vouch for me on this one, just the dedication that our team has. I think we're, about 12 to 15 deep on the management team now, whereas even when I started, I think it was 6 of us maybe. So we've really grown not only as an organization, but also just in the management team, which takes a lot of load off of our shoulders, which means obviously if we're delegating a little bit more, it allows more people to do things better than we were before.
Well, we were talking about fundraising, of course, with the Polar Plunge, but do you do other fundraisers, or do you have people who just, for whatever, out of the goodness of their heart, want to be a part of this, make donations from time to time? If you do, how do you do that? Well,
different organizations help us out, i.e. the Knights of Columbus do a golf tournament every year and raise funds for Special Olympics. We do have, for the faint of heart, over the years we developed a solar plunge that is held in August. And again, the Jimmy Floyd Family Center lets us use their outdoor pool in the evening, and while we don't call it a fundraiser, it is to promote the organization, but it usually generates some funds.
Well, hopefully you are doing enough fundraising to keep things going. It sounds like
our financial status is good. We are blessed with that, and which makes it easy and has no burden on the athletes at all.
All right, the Polar Plunge is 2 weeks from tomorrow, and that February date is what?
February 3, Saturday.
Right, February 3rd, and you can participate in a number of ways, but hopefully get a team up, get a bunch of people there.
have several already registered. Yeah.
What is can two be a team?
Oh yeah, any amount. Yeah, that's up to the individual.
Yeah,
we've seen a few come from like a couple of different high schools and middle schools around the area, a couple of different organizations. Kev, that actually works at the Amazon Distribution Center, who's also on our board of directors, he typically brings a pretty good group of people. I think personally we're doing a much better job with it this year than we have in years past, just with the amount of sponsors that we're going and getting, the food trucks, stuff like that. I think it's just I think it's going to be a lot better experience than it has been in years past.
Okay, 2 weeks from tomorrow, February 3rd, Jimmy Floyd Family Center right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Registration at 10 o'clock, the plunge at 11, and a lot of other things that go with all of this during that period of time.
Yep. Be a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you for Ed Benziger. Thank you really for your dedication, because you've been at it all this time, and I think we all owe you a debt of gratitude for what you have done and what you keep on doing. And it's good to get people like Jake Hood, who has. He's young and full of enthusiasm and got some new ideas to share. So
we're working on year 4 in the organization.
Yeah, all right. Well, appreciate y'all, and it's really nice to have you live in studio this morning. I didn't know whether we'd have to do this on the phone or not, but it is better when you're here, and glad you could make it. And y'all stay warm, stay safe. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Polar Plunge, 2 weeks tomorrow, February 3rd, Jimmy Floyd Family Center. That's going to do it for a Friday. I hope you'll have a nice, maybe warm, safe weekend. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.